welcome to Midday Update. Coming up are the top stories for the day. People associated with the tourism industry in Pakistan are facing loss of millions of rupees due to the lack of tourists in the valley. Those involved in hotels, restaurants and jeep businesses have been badly affected by the floods caused by the recent rains, reported sources on Sunday. The tourism sector of Swat Valley took a hit at the very beginning of the business season this year due to the flooding caused by heavy rains. On April 18th, a heavy downpour caused flooding in the Swat River's Dar al-Khwar stream and affected business of hotels and shops in the Bahrain Bazaar. The plight of journalists in Afghanistan is deteriorating with every passing day as the violence against the community has increased manifold in the nation under Taliban rule. According to the press, the Afghanistan Journalist Center released a study on the deteriorating state of the media in Afghanistan, noting that violence cases against journalists have climbed by 64 in the previous year. The report was released on the occasion of World Press Freedom Day. At least one was killed and 4 others were injured after a gunman opened fire in waiting room on the 11th floor of the medical center in Atlanta, according to sources. Giving details about the incident, Atlanta Police Department Chief Darren Shearbaum said that the shooter shot 5 people and one of them died on the scene. It is pertinent to mention that all 5 people who were shot were women. In the latest development of the case, the police identified the suspect as Diane Patterson, a former Coast Guardsman. India and Egypt held the 12th round of Foreign Office consultations on Wednesday in Cairo, where both sides undertook a comprehensive review of the entire range of bilateral relations, covering politics, trade and commerce, investments, development partnership, capacity building, culture and people-to-people linkages, according to the statement. India-born Ajay Banga has been elected as the World Bank's next president. A 25-member executive board elected the ex-Mastercard CEO who was nominated for the post by US President Joe Biden in late February. Banga, finance and development expert, will take over the role on June 2nd. He was the sole contender to replace departing World Bank chief David Malpass, whose term ends early next month. Informed Pakistan opener Fakhar Zaman has become Babar Azam's closest ranking challenger after being rewarded for his recent dominance with massive gains on the latest ICC men's ODI batting rankings. Fakhar has commenced Pakistan's ongoing ODI series at home against New Zealand in a blaze of glory, with the 33-year-old scoring back-to-back centuries to put his side in control of the 5-match series. The left-hander scored 117 in the series opener in Rawalpindi and then backed it up with a magnificent 180 in the second match at the same venue and was duly rewarded with an 8-spot jump to second behind Babar on the latest ranking update. Fakhar has scored 3 ODI centuries on the bounce and rose to a career best rating of 784 rating points and is now the closest challenger to his skipper despite trailing by 103 rating points. Barcelona strengthened their grip on the La Liga title after defeating Osasuna 1-0. This win took Barca's points tally to 82. Jordi Alba's late strike against the 10-man Osasuna earned the hosts a 1-0 win at Spotify Camp Nou on Tuesday. The reason for their success this season could be attributed to their activity in the transfer market. Barca brought in some technically skilled players to their squad, thereby boosting their title bid. Real Madrid is no threat to Barcelona's title chase this season as the former has only aggregated 68 points. Next week's Champions League semi-final clash at Manchester City appears to be the priority for Madrid now, with their challenge in the La Liga all but over as they trail leaders Barca by 14 points. Now for some local stories. It was a sense of relief and joy for people who arrived in Muscat via Saudi Arabia from conflict-stricken Sudan. Hundreds of people have died since fighting broke out between Sudan's army and the paramilitary rapid support forces, sparked by plans to integrate the RSF into the armed forces. Those were the top stories for the day. For more updates, stay tuned and keep watching TTV.
You've just heard the live feed from the TTV studios on TFM 95.4. Let's talk.